Hi, it's Michelle with Making the Cut with Michelle. We're on location today in Pensacola, Florida. We've got some very special guests for you. We're going to be making an old New England dish. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Sam Dixon down in Pensacola with Michelle, my lovely wife Donna. We're going to help her prepare a old New England specialty that was used for baked stuffed lobster. This recipe came from my father-in-law, George Curran, who got it years and years ago and passed it on to his family. I think you're going to enjoy it. It was originally used for baked stuffed lobster, but we're going to put it on top of fresh caught fish from Joe Patty's today. Today we're going to use grouper and fresh caught cobia.
Okay, one of the first things that you're going to need to do is get your ingredients. You're going to deal with Ritz crackers, just Ritz butter crackers. You're going to need some fresh caught fish, pure maple syrup, butter, salt and pepper, and that's what you're going to need. We're going to start now with the very first thing we're going to do.
First of all, you take a sleeve and a half for a four serving portion, and you put your Ritz in a Ziploc bag, and you smash them and crush them all up real fine. Pretty easy to do.
You could use a rolling pin or something with this, couldn't you?
Yes, you could. You could smash them. I always just crush them with my hands.
Take out some of that frustration.
Yeah, a little
There
bit.
you go. So see,
And hope my fish comes out good.
this is a calming thing.
See?
All
All
right,
crushed.
those look good and crushed.
Okay. And then
Hey, we're gonna move on to one of the next steps. We're gonna get our pans prepped for our fish.
hi. We usually use these four separate dishes, and we can serve them as a portion at the table. We take a stick of butter and we use 2/3 of it for the stuffing, and the remainder we butter up these dishes really, really good so the fish does not stick, and then we can serve it right at the table. It works really well.
Okay, so what we have, today we went and we got, this here is Caribbean grouper, and then this is cobia. So cobia is going to be new to me. I've never had cobia. I'm looking forward to that. I've had the Caribbean grouper, regular grouper, and I really enjoy that. So we're going to make this recipe with both, and then that way we're going to get to try it different ways.
Okay, we want to try to make the cuts of the fish to fit the dishes really well. So with this, I'm going to cut this one right down here. These are all white, flaky fish to serve. This is the cobia. Again, it's a very mild, white, flaky fish when it's cooked. Now those are our 4 servings. Now we're going to move on to the next step. All right, we're going to salt and pepper them, and then we're just going to hold them here until we finish this step where we make the mixture of butter and maple syrup, and we put the crackers in there to flavor them.
You're going to want to have your oven preheating to 325, 350, what you're going to cook the fish on. Have that started before you start the process of greasing the pans and getting the fish into it. You want to have it up to temperature when we're done with the stuffing.
Okay, we're going to make the maple syrup and butter that we mix in with the Ritz crackers. You put this on low, do this on low, while the oven's coming up to heat. It takes a little while. So that's approximately 5 tablespoons of butter. And this doesn't have to be perfect. You can always adjust it as far as putting a little bit more butter in or maple syrup. But I try to keep it pretty much equal parts, 5 to 5.
Dad?
Yep.
Doug and I like to subscribe to the Buddy the Elf category of candy, candy corn, candy canes, and syrup. So we could add a little more syrup if we'd like to have some of that maple taste, right? Could we add a little more?
Yeah, this is pure maple syrup too. This isn't the cane syrup that you get like the I was going to say Aunt Jemima, but I don't think you can do that anymore. Or Ben, but anyway, this is the real maple syrup, and it tastes mapley. So
Gotcha.
You will get the maple taste from it.
Okay.
All right, you get this mostly melted. And again, you've got it on low. Start adding the crackers. I kind of like to dump them on one side and then mix them in.
So you just put the whole bag in.
Yeah, I put the whole bag in. Like I said,
The butter
If-
isn't
if it
melted
looks
though.
like
Is that
it's-
okay?
the butter's, yeah, that's fine. It'll melt eventually.
Okay.
I can turn it up a little bit and get it to melt a little faster.
What temperature do you have that pan at?
It's between low and medium right now. I usually do it on low because I do it the same time I preparing the fish and everything, and then
Well, we don't want to scorch that maple syrup.
no, that's why it's on low. And again, what you're trying to get is where every cracker has some of the butter and some of the maple syrup. You don't want to get it too soggy. You don't want to get it too dry. And you can see, looking at the pan, it's pretty much sucked up most of it. We still got butter melting here, so we'll just keep moving it around, mixing it as it melts.
So we can't add more maple syrup yet, huh?
We can add more maple syrup if we feel that we need it, but again, this is a good recipe where you start off with something like 5 tablespoons of this and 5 tablespoons of that, and then you might decide that, geez, I'd like it a little bit more mapley, so I'm going to put more maple syrup in it next time. Or,
We like maple syrup.
well, we'll probably dump a little bit more on it.
Yeah, we're maple syrup people. I like sugar. Don't I like sugar, Mom?
You sure do, sugar.
And again, this is the old lobster stuffing that they used to make for baked stuffed lobster up in New England. They'd make it with Ritz crackers. They would put things in it like shrimp and crab and any kind of
Just like
oysters.
a seafood bake, pretty
Yeah.
much across the board.
Right. All right, so this is pretty good. I'd be happy with this, but Michelle and Doug seems to think they'd like a little bit more maple syrup taste, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Not too much, because maple syrup can overpower something, you know, so.
That's blasphemy.
Everything's better with butter.
That's butter and maple syrup. Can't go wrong.
So this is it. This is what we're going to put on top of this fish to put it in to bake it.
Our fish.
All right, so just bring the stuffing over to it, and what I'm going to do is try to equally divide this stuffing on top of the fish.
Okay, so this was all equally divided amongst the pans, and we're getting ready to put these in the oven. Dad?
Okay. Center rack. Now we got 25 minutes. We'll look at it at the end of 20 minutes and give it another 5 if we think it could use a little bit more. Best way to do it is just take a fork in there with you and probe into the meat and see if it's nice and flaky.
All right, so we've got fish in the oven cooking. I've got salad and shrimp cocktail on the table. We're gonna be back in about a half an hour to show you what that looks like, and then we'll find out if that makes the cut with Michelle or not. So Mom's in charge of the sides. We've got our rosemary French fries in there. She's getting her cocktail sauce together all over there. She's the sous chef back there doing all the stuff. And look at those nice big fluffy shrimp. We got those at Joe Patty's today too. Deveined and peeled. Those are royal reds. They're gonna be yummy. We go take a good look at this. See, it's nice and flaky. It's still very, very moist. That makes the cut for sure. What does everybody think? Make the cut?
Makes a cut.
Makes the
Delicious.
cut.
Good to me.
$13.99 a pound steamed lobster, huh?
We're here at Joe Patty's gearing up for tonight's recipe.
Hi.
What number are we?
122.
We're 122. What are they serving now?
80.
80. So we're going to be here a little bit.
42. So
All
I'd say
right.
about 10 minutes.
Today's recipe veers off of the traditional see it on the internet, make it at home that I've been doing. Because when you're with your parents, you should really try to incorporate some of those memories that they have and really just make it fun. And that's what this was all about. And honestly, the fish was amazing. So I do recommend that you try it at home. It's easy, it was quick, and really, really flavorful and good. So from our family to yours, this is Michelle, making the cut with Michelle.